Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you.
And is it clear?
Yes.
No background.
A little bit noise is there background, but it's normal noise. Outspeaker noise, something like that.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah. Now it's clear. Completely gone. Your voice also gone, I guess.
Yeah, that is the beauty
Yeah,
of me.
now it's there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Anvitamscha Mam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarabhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Good morning.
Good morning,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thanks for joining and do let me know if you can see me and also the presentation I'll be sharing. So just wanted to swipe. Hide no participants. Okay. So thank you very much once again to join our systematic study of Vedic scriptures. In that we are dwelling ourselves in a proportionately deeper way to understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita. In that chapter 15 is very, very important. It is called Purushottama Yoga. And it's very important to understand yoga. Yeah, otherwise we can confidently say the sufferings and the disturbances and all the discomforts, whatever we are seeing, whatever we are experiencing, whatever that those which we think shouldn't be there, because we are not practicing proper yoga. And this yoga is not something that came in last 50 years, yeah, or maybe little before, but this yoga is time immemorial. And the yoga of the Supreme Person, Purushottama Yoga, is very important because it gives us quite a bit of clue to understand to whom we should actually unite, because yoga means yunjan. Yeah? If you see, yoga means not detachment. Sometimes we have this notion, uh, by practicing yoga we attain peace. How is it possible? Yeah, by detaching. Yeah, with detachment we can attain some sense of tranquility, some sense of calmness. But if we really talking about inner peace, and if we are talking about universal peace, these things are possible only when we understand to whom, to where, how uh, should we connect to. This is what, when we say yoga, real meaning is to really connect to the Supreme. And this chapter itself is giving us a clue where we are, hmm, because we are disconnected, and how can we connect, and more importantly, to whom should we get connected. And the Lord Himself, last week we were discussing about the first verse, which was telling about Urdhva Moolam Adha Shakam Ashwattham Prahur Avyayam, Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Sa Vedavit. So, if we, and we also from the Gita Mahatmya, we were going through this wonderful short story, which tells that one can attain perfection if one are very attentively and repeatedly meditate upon this chapter 15. And why? Because Krishna is explaining the variegatedness of this material world, and the purpose of it, and the purpose of actually cutting it, so that we can actually reconnect or practice proper yoga to engage ourselves in service of the Lord. So the Lord is saying, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches downward, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of Vedas. Uh, let's try to spend some more time to understand this tree, and um, through that, we can understand many uh, aspects. We can correlate ourselves with the simile of this tree, and with that simile we can appreciate where we are caught up and how to get rid of it. Yeah. If someone would like to volunteer, they can read 15 or 2. I'll share the screen 1 second. Yeah. Please let me know if you see the screen.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. If someone would like to read.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yeah.
अतस् अतश्चोवर्धं प्रस्त्रास्तस्य शाखा गुणप्रवर्धविषया प्रवलाः अधश्च मूलानि अनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धनि मनुष्यलोके. Translation. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to fruitive actions of human society. Purport. The description of the banyan tree is further explained here. Its branches spread in all directions. In the lower parts, there are variegated manifestations of living entities, human beings, animals, horses, cows, dogs, cats, etc. These are situated on the lower parts of the branches, whereas on the upper parts are the higher forms of living entities, the demigods, Gandharvas, and many other higher species of life. As a tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. Sometimes we find that a tract of land is barren for want of sufficient water, and sometimes a tract is very green. Similarly, where particular modes of material nature are proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. The twigs of the tree are considered to be the sense objects. By development of the different modes of nature, we develop different senses. And by the senses, we enjoy different varieties of sense objects. The tips of the branches are the senses, the ears, nose, eyes, etc., which are attached to the enjoyment of different sense objects. The twigs are sound, form, touch, and so on, the sense objects. The subsidiary roots are attachments and aversions, which are byproducts of different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyment. The tendencies towards piety and impiety are considered to develop from these secondary roots, which spread in all directions. The real root is from Brahmaloka, and the other roots are in the human planetary systems. After one enjoys the results of virtuous activities in the upper planetary systems, he comes down to this earth and renews his karma or fruitive activities for promotion. This planet of human beings is considered the field of activities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Dinath Prabhu. So we are talking about a tree here. Yeah, interestingly. However, it's not a biology or a zoology for a botanical class. But here, the Lord is referencing through this tree about where we are living. What is it made up of? So, when we see the focus of this part of the chapter is mainly describing entire material world, which is compared to a banyan tree. Because for one engaged in fruitive acts, there is no end to this banyan tree, which is very, very deep rooted. So we sometimes get realizations that this material world is not the place where we wanted to be in, isn't it? Yeah, in every religion we can see that how people are looking for something which is a more blissful place, a place where there is no suffering, a place where there is always comfort. Yeah. And which means definitely we do not appreciate this world where we are living, after all, coming through different kinds of experiences that we go through. Yeah, maybe naively some may say, no, no, this material world, why to blame, it's wonderful place. But it's a matter of time. Yeah, it's a matter of some time, that today it's fine, but what about tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow is also fine. What about next month? If we really seriously think about this, uh, then usually when someone is asking how are you doing, we may not say, yeah, I am perfectly fine. Maybe I may say I am fine. Or if one is really understanding where he is, then he may really would like to, yeah, truthful, then he may not say that I am fine, because I am actually burning. uh, where is the fire? The fire is this material existence. And anyway, so that way we see that here this material desires, one is engaged in the fruitful active activities. And as long as one is engaged in the fruitful activities, what is happening? He is getting the fruits of it. This tree, when we are talking, whenever we are saying fruitful activities, means there is a fruit, which means there should be a tree. And then in that similar sense, Lord Krishna is using the banyan tree, and he's explaining. He's not just telling a creeper, he's telling really about a banyan tree, which is having very, very deep rooted. And one is wandering from branch to branch with no end. Sometimes he's on a higher branch, sometimes he's on the lower branch, which means he's just kind of transmigrating from one branch to the other branch. Just like when we, as we all accept the principle of reincarnation, yeah, which means there is a life after this end of this life. After we give up this body, then we are taking up another body. So in that way, which means from we took when you take this whole existence as a banyan tree, then it has branches, and one is taking wandering from one branch to the other branch. So, and ultimately, Krishna is saying, who is a Vedavit? Vedavit means one who knows Vedas, one who knows Vedic hymns. And who is he? One who understands that, yeah, this banyan tree, uh, using this I mean, not about banyan tree, but actually using this analogy of the banyan tree to understand the material world. uh, and when one understands this, then if this tree of illusion, uh, one who understands this indestructible tree of illusion, we cannot say that, okay, no, 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 I will do so many things so that this illusory spell of Maya may not touch me. No, as long as we are here, as long as we are engaging ourselves in the fruitful actions in the form of karmic activities, then we are in that illusion. Yeah, we are in that indestructible tree. But uh, Krishna is saying one can get rid of it by cutting it with a sword, sword of detachment. Yeah, sword of detachment is the key. Sword of detachment. Yeah, yoga. When we are saying, yeah, it is detachment. But how long can we be in detached mode? Always there is hankering. There is always desire. There is always pash, asa, pasha. These things are there in us. So what should we do? This is the cause of our suffering. So um, the process of extrication from this material world is possible. We see that devotional service. Yeah, in every chapter, Krishna is saying in the last verse of that chapter explicitly that devotional service is the means through which one can get attached. Yeah, when we are getting detached from this material world, material desires, material activities, we need something to actually attach. Otherwise, we may again attach back to the Maya. We may again attach to our activities that we desire. As we know, there is this Shreya and Priyas, right? And always our mind is wanting. What is our mind wanting? Mind is always wanting uh, happiness. Yeah, but when we do not know how to seek the real happiness, the mind is saying, okay, whatever comes, let's take it. Then we go to, if you go to a supermarket, when you're buying some vegetables, then you see um, Klasse 1 or Klasse 2, or kind of a grade 1, grade 2 kind of vegetables. We always first we'll want to have a grade 1, but the price is expensive. Similarly, when we want to practice devotional service, the price is not so cheap. We need to really regulate our lifestyle. We need to give our best so that we do not get distracted. When we get detached, we should not again go back to our old habits. So all these things are very difficult. So then we say, okay, uh, if that is the case, I think there is no other solution. That's why I just accept this material world as everything. Yeah, and what I do is I keep jumping from one branch to the other branch. But this chapter is telling detachment is the key, and giving this analogy that, yeah, Dinath Prabhu just you have read, we can see this other cha urdhvam. So we understand this nature of this material world through this example, where a banyan tree, we can see that adha means downward and urdhvam, upward, are extending. The branches of this tree are extending in both directions. And what do we call? I mean, how do we say that this branch is extending? Is then we see this guna pravriddha vishaya pravala. This is by the modes of material nature. So the three modes, it's nourished by the three modes of material nature. This material existence is there, and it is nourished by these modes of nature. The twigs are the objects of senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to fruitive actions of human society. So when we see here, the roots are growing downward. At the same time, yeah, in the previous verse, we see that the roots are upward. So this banyan tree already is little puzzling. Yeah, should we call a root as a branch or branch as a root, uh, or what is the real trunk? Hmm? Because they are also one big trunk. Yeah, but when you have so many similarly appearing huge branches, how to understand this? So in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that this banyan tree is for the its branches spread in all directions. In the lower parts, there are variegated manifestations of living entities, isn't it? There are human beings, yeah, and animals, horses, cows, dogs, cats, etc. And these are in the lower branches. And then we know, I don't know if you have seen, there is also description about elves, or in our books we can see that there is Gandharvas, there is Kinneras, Kimpurusha Loka. Yeah, when we go to Srimad Bhagavatam in the fifth canto, there is a description of Kimpurusha Loka where Hanumanji is praying. Hmm. So there are higher planets or higher branches. In this way we can see, as a tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. So which should help us to understand that this material world And maybe some branches, just if someone is living in a jhopapatti, he may not see sunlight because there are tall buildings which may cover. But just imagine if someone is uh, affording for such kind of facilities where he has open space, has bungalow, and then all, yeah, he can see the sunlight. But from a real problems of life, uh, either a person who is living in the very very challenging circumstances or comfortable circumstances, both have these four problems: janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, old age, birth, disease, and uh, death. So these are the real problems, and these problems are there for both. So here we see that sometimes we find that a tract of land is barren for what want of sufficient water, and sometimes a tract is very green. So as I was saying, maybe a slum area is not well facilitated, or maybe a community, gated community, is very much facilitated with all. Yeah, we don't have to go for miles to go and get water for drinking or maintaining ourselves. No, as soon as you open a tap, the water is there, and then you can already, yeah, in that way, there is sufficient facilities. Similarly, where particular modes of nature are proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. This means that we may see that polar bears, will not see those in India, yeah, because it is not predominated by a particular mode of nature. Sorry, in this case, when we say water body, which is very cold, it is suitable for that. So the polar bears naturally are there. Uh, Similarly, based on whatever the mode of nature that we develop, accordingly those qualities will develop in us, and accordingly we take that form. This is what is in the next para. The twigs of the tree are considered to be sense objects. So, what are the sense objects? If you see, um, Krishna speaks in the 13th chapter. Mahabhutani ahankara buddhir avyaktam evacha indriyani dasaikam cha panchendriya gochara. So this the five great elements. What are these? Earth, water, ether are the five elements. And then there is this ahankar, false ego, buddhi, intelligence, and the unmanifested, the 10 senses and the mind, or the five sense objects: desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and convictions. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions. So, again, with the reference of 15th chapter, which is also telling about the material world, and this verse is also telling about the material existence. What is the field of activities? Field of activities is um, these elements. And Purport Prabhupada is giving what are these? Uh, the five Mahabhutas are earth, water, fire, air, ether. And then there are false ego, intelligence, and unmanifested stage of three modes of nature. So this is what we also see in the 15th chapter, the verse that we read. The unmanifested stage of the three modes. Then there are five senses of acquiring knowledge, Gyanendriyas, which are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Then there is Karmendriyas, which are voice, legs, hands, anus, and genitals. Then above the senses there is mind, buddhi, mana, and then which is within, which and sorry, which in is within, and which can be called the sense within. Therefore, including the mind, there are 11 senses altogether. Then there are five objects of senses, and here we see what are the objects. We don't usually call smell as an object, isn't it? Yeah, taste as an object, form as an object, touch as an object. Huh? But when we talk about, these are actually sense objects. Why? Because it is a smell that we want. For example, we don't want to go to a flower if there is no smell coming out of it, or if there is no form to a flower, we wouldn't even think, hey, is there a flower? So, a object is made up of these five elements. In some, something is more dominant. In some, there is something which is less dominant. Hmm. So, and now the aggregate of these 24 elements is called the field of activity. And going back to our the reference, the twigs of the tree are considered to be sense objects. You know what is a twig, which is a small stem from where the leaves will start building. By development of the different modes of nature, we develop different senses. Yeah, which means different modes of nature. If I want to be in the mode of ignorance, then according the sense objects are developed. In the case of, we see a pig. A pig's senses are different. Our sense, what do you call this? Capacities are different. Uh, a pig doesn't matter if it is happily laying in the sewage canals. Oh, but if we are just walking across it, that lanes, we will just immediately close our nose. Or the other example is a dog. A dog can hear those what do you call frequencies that we cannot hear. Or an eagle can, is it eagle? Yeah. um, yeah, a vulture. uh, a vulture can see because it has very sharp sight, eye power, that it sees from very very far high in the sky. It will see when a fish in the water, even we can't see if we are very very near to the water surface, but uh, um, a vulture can see. Yeah, it can see, and as soon as the fish is jumping, then immediately it will uh, fly and get caught hold of this fish. So we can see that different modes of nature, accordingly, one develops different kinds of senses, and by the senses we enjoy different varieties of sense objects. The tips of the branches are the senses, through which we are perceiving the sense objects. So to enjoy the sense of what is it, smell, we have nose. To enjoy the sense object of sound, we have ears. In that way, the tips of these branches are the senses which are attached to the enjoyment of different sense objects. Yeah. um, what is this? Oh God, Sripad Sankaracharya. No, I think it is coming in the Avanti Brahman. Um, he says that the sense objects are very powerful, and the sense objects are powerful, so the senses are also being carried away. And what is the sense objects? It is unmanifested form of the modes of material nature, or even to this degree of manifesting. These are even manifested in the material form with this all variegatedness, which are actually attracting the senses. The subsidiary roots, banyan tree, though we know that its roots are in the earth, but we also see that there are roots which are actually hanging from the branches. And not only that, there is, I don't know if you know that a tree has one which is a main root, and other tree roots, under the ground also, they are subsidiary roots. So in that way, this banyan tree, which is full of roots, are attachments and aversions, which are byproducts of different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyments. The tendencies towards piety and impiety, punya and papa, are considered to develop from these secondary roots, which spread in all directions. And again, going back here, we see what is that? Uh, we see that there are desire, hatred, happiness, and distress. Hmm? He can, if one makes an analytical study of these 24 subjects, then he can very well understand the field of activity. Then there are desire, hatred, happiness, and distress, which are interactions, representation of five great elements in the gross body. Hmm? The living symptoms represented by consciousness and convictions, are manifestation of subtle body, mind, ego, and intelligence. These subtle elements are included within the field of activities. Now we go back to here. Here we see that by development of different modes of nature, we develop different senses and sense objects. Then the twigs are sound, form, touch, and so on, the sense objects. And then the subsidiary roots are attachments and aversions, which are byproducts of different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyment. So, based on our enjoyment and suffering, we are developing attachment and or aversion. We should not call it as detachment. Detachment is, a conscious thing. Aversion or repulsion is something that is happening uh, out of our unwillingness to have it. Attachment is something that, okay, yeah, we have, though we didn't think that this attachment would develop, because we hankered for it, the attachment comes. Yeah. The tendency towards piety and impiety are considered to develop from these secondary roots, which is spread in all directions. The real root is from Brahmalok, and the other roots are uh, in the human planetary system. After one enjoys the results of virtuous activities in upper planetary system, he comes down to this earth and renews his karma or fruitive activities for promotion. This is also to be very much important. After one enjoys all comforts of heaven or heavenly planets, he comes to Bhulok. He comes down to the earth and renews his karma, so that um, he will either again, yeah, because if he's again doing good piety, then he goes to a higher planet. If he is doing impiety, then he goes down. So that is what is happening. This planet of human beings is considered the field of activities. uh, so which means like karma bhumi, in a way we can call karma bhumi is place where we are doing all activities. And or just like if we are working in a company, we are working, we are not going on a holiday in the company. Whatever earnings we get, then we enjoy it later. Either we plan a vacation to other places, to whatever desire one has. If he has desire to spend nightlife and get intoxicated and all these things, then he will use that there. And if he is wanted to have a peace of mind, then he will select something else. So similarly, when one is engaging himself in this field of activities, then the results, what comes, of course, here you have a choice to decide where you want to go. Sometimes we earn and then we decide where we want to spend. But in the law of karma, we see that, okay, everything is job done. We don't have to um, worry about what how are we paid for what we have done. If we did good, we are paid well. If we done bad, we are paid accordingly. So, and then for completion, I'll go back again here saying the living okay. Then there are desire, hatred, happiness, and distress, which are interactions, representation of five gross great elements in gross body. Then living entities represented by consciousness and conviction uh, are the manifestation of subtle body, mind, ego, and intelligence. These subtle elements are included within the field of activities out of this 24. Five gross elements are gross representation of false ego, which in turn represents the primal stage of false ego, technically called materialistic conception, tamasa buddhi, intelligence in ignorance. This further represents the unmanifested stage of the three modes of material nature. The unmanifested modes of material nature are called pradhana. Hmm? And in that, this which is intelligence in ignorance is called tamasa buddhi. One who desires to know the 24 elements in detail, along with their interactions, should study the philosophy in more detail in Bhagavad Gita. And of course, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, second canto, it comes again and again, so that we understand that this material world is not a place of paradise, where we thought of. We thought, okay, maybe if I turn left, take right, go straight, there is a place where after reaching this spot, I am going to have unlimited bliss. Huh? That's what Google is showing. No, it's not going to happen. We are just moving from one branch to the other branch, from one kind of life to the other kind of life. But all these lives, Krishna himself is saying that even Lord Brahma, all the demigods, even they have end date. They have Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. When we talk about disease, the magnitude or the amount of disease or old age are not so much as we may have in the material world. uh, but they have a birth and they have a death. Krishna is saying, what is the duration of one day of Brahma? What is the duration of one night of Brahma? What is the duration of 100 years? Yeah, after 100 years, there is a new Brahma who will take over. So all these things Krishna is saying. uh, and if at all we have mm, uh, expectation that we do not want to be caught up in this struggle, what we are going through, the only way, Krishna is anyway summarizing that, and this is what is to practice Purushottama Yoga. Okay, I will, yeah, let's see if there's some questions here. Quite a complex, the world where we are living, the subject itself, even is complicated. But with analogy, we can understand what is that we are doing.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
I have a question regarding the Purushottama Yoga. What is it? I don't know if I missed the point. So, what is Purushottama Yoga?
This is the chapter. The
Okay,
chapter name is Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person.
but like, what should be done to do this, to achieve this? Is this the
This is what we
chanting of
will.
the name?
This is what we will actually learn from this chapter. Yeah. Yeah, first we are trying to understand the world where we are living, so that then we know, okay, we want to become detached from this material world. This is first thing. And how can we do that? We should have a goal which is called transmigration. The goal should be to leave this material world and return to the spiritual world, and this is the goal. Yeah, for a yoga, right? When we do a yoga, we have a goal, and I think this is what you were also asking. The
Yes.
next thing is, we can understand the goal when we understand Krishna's position as the maintainer, no? And then we understand what is said in the Vedas and Vedantas as the goal of life, which is what is to reunite or get connected to the Supreme Person, Krishna. So this is the content of kind of a overall summary of this chapter. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it Sanjeev Prabhu? Or
Yes.
Sanjay?
Sanjeev. Yes.
Sanjeev Prabhu. Yeah. So this is what we will learn from this chapter further. The first
Thank you,
chapter,
Prabhuji.
first five verses are mainly telling about this material world. Yeah? This material world is a reflection of the spiritual world, and when it's a reflection, we cannot think it as a real, right? A reflection is always a reflection. We cannot um, eat an ice cream by seeing in a mirror, right? We have to really get hold of the real ice cream, which is uh, that which gives the real enjoyment and that gives a real happiness. So this is the chapter which is telling that we have been believing that this ice cream that I'm seeing in the mirror is the reality. Yeah. And that is actually making us jump from one place to the other. Just like imagine a moon which is reflected on uh, mm, many water bodies. We start thinking, if you just have 10 glasses of water, and if the moon is it's we can see the reflection of the moon in all the 10 glasses, isn't it? and all these 10 are not reality. The reality is only one, which is above. So if we want that, we have to see up, not down. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
I also have one request. So, if is it possible for you to give your email ID so that maybe if I want to connect with you later on and I have some questions or suggestions regarding this meeting, so maybe
Okay.
I can send a feedback.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, I think Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, you can give.
Yes, Prabhuji, I can add his number.
Okay.
Adhiraj Prabhu may add his number to that connection group and he can then contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Thank
And
you, Prabhu.
also you can give the email as well.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Something else? Otherwise, we go to the next verse.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, about these three modes of material nature, so the Mahat Tattva is there, and so this mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So it is
Mm-hmm.
the nature of this Mahat Tattva. So some part is in mode of goodness, some is, or it is manifesting afterwards. It
Yeah.
is not in Mahat.
Yeah. So there is first the pradhana. Pradhana means the unmanifested uh, uh, core or atomic elements. Yeah. So just like the comparison is when we are building a apartment or a house, then after construction we can see it's a structure. But if you see, it is actually made up of sand. It's made up of cement. It's made up of bricks. It's made up of the raw material. What you can say. Mm, if we just go down, what do you call this, hardware shop, we may see so many things. Yeah, but these are not yet manifested into the house which we are using it. So that's why we call unmanifested modes of material nature are still part of the pradhana. Yeah. So when the whole creation started, it created the Lord from Lord Brahma, the creation of all these elements which were in unmanifested form were already lying, and when Mahavishnu glances upon this pradhan, which means this pradhan, which is the raw material, which is just inert. It's not electrified, but as soon as when the glance of Mahavishnu is falling, then what is happening is that this pradhan is electrified, and this creation, just like when you talk about a kirmes, yeah, what do you call this? Expo or exhibitions, we see that, oh, that whole place was empty, but all of a sudden there are people who are building all the things, rides and shops and all those things, and then on the day of opening, by the day of opening, there is this power to it, and all things are making yeah, activated, right? These are activated so that the uh, one who is visiting, the visitors can get into those rides, can enjoy. And after that period is over, then what is happening? Yeah. So after the day is over, then everything is brought to halt. And again, next day morning, when the opening times are there, as per that, these are again activated. So this is what we say about material modes of nature that are in the initial stage, which are not manifested already, which means nothing happens. It's just things are there, yeah, but they are not put up together for the purpose, which are not manifested. So similarly, unmanifested modes of material nature is there, but when from that pradhan, when this creation process goes further and further, each of these elements, which are thicker, 10 times thicker than the previous, in that way the whole world is created. And in how do we call this? Our the field, just how a field of active field influences the activities. The field of activities are uh, these modes of material nature, so that we are exhibiting or we are executing, right, through this, by this field where we are. Just imagine, you want to swim, right? You may just use your hands, but if you do it in the air, you're not going anywhere, right?
Yes,
So the activities also should be in the field, and that facilitation of that field is actually because of this modes of material nature.
yes, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
Prabhuji, but it is in my mind not clear that, for example, these elements of material nature, Agni, Prithvi, Vayu, Akash, Jal. Take the example of Agni. Can we
Mhm.
say Agni is in mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, or it is the combination? Agni is in some nice place, and then the whole environment is in mode of goodness, or something like, or the water temperature when it is conducive to swim, that is in the mode of goodness, but water itself is not
See,
having.
these are elements and these are energies. These are two things. What you are referring as the Mahabhutani, the Mahabhutas are the elements, uh, raw materials, as I said. This raw material, when it is comes in contact with this energy field, then accordingly it will behave. For example, we can take the earth form. Yeah, if you see earth form, then there is this fire. If it is a raw branch, it cannot burn, isn't it? But if this is dry, then it will caught up with the fire. Yeah.
Yes,
So the manifestation of a particular thing uh, will be influenced by the active field, and then it will manifest the reactions accordingly uh, when it is put into this execution phase. So before execution, nothing is happening, right? For example, even if your example of fire, it will not burn the wood if the fire is far from the wood,
yes,
right? So when you are asking, is it the mode of goodness that is categorized for fire, or is it mode of what is it, goodness is for water? Yeah, if that is the question that you have, these are two different things, and when these things are brought because of the metal mode of nature, then these activities are causing the reactions. Yeah, or if you maybe I'll think of example. um, Yeah, so just let's use again the example of this exhibition, right? The Kirmes, yeah, where everything you see there are some rides which are for kids, right? And there are some rides that are made for people who really want to have quite an adventure, huh? And there are also exhibits or kind of rides which are like, okay, uh I don't know if you have seen in this, where you just sit, you just see around, and then yeah, you have nice time, then you get out of the ride. Yeah, so in this way, the different modes of material nature, accordingly these things are prepared, right? If there is no desire to be in the mode of goodness, things wouldn't be even manifesting, right?
yes,
Because there is these three modes of material nature which are um, making one to be illuminated. Yeah, when we talk about goodness, or one to be in the mode of passion, which is activities, accordingly these things are manifesting. Yeah, and the elements, when we're talking about fire, earth, or all these are the means through which these things are built up. Hmm?
hmm. So to manifest these mode of
To
ignorance,
manifest.
passion,
Yeah,
or ignorance,
exactly.
these ingredients are
Yeah.
the
So
fire.
these are the means through which actually what is happening is that whole manifestation is coming into existence, and is also means of actually causing actions and reactions, the fruitive activities. That is the whole functioning in the material world, right? So unless, I mean, there are these activities which are giving results, whether it is in prarabdha or aprarabdha, that is a different thing. But action and a reaction is where we are in this material world, and under the influence of the modes of material nature. And how in a detailed functional level it is to be seen that it is from the unmanifested things. Things are manifested, and after things are manifested, activities begin. And because activities are beginning to happen, because of those activities reactions happen, and because of those reactions again this pradhan, is again taking a form. Hmm? Yeah. So this is going in eternally, so to say, as long as one is in the material world. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
these we can see as the means to attain this whole agenda of creation of the material universe or material world, and the Jivatma, living entity, is put in. We already, I think, came across this Kshetragna, yeah, the knower, and the field of the knower, all these things, right? So all these things are explained here. How just, oh, it's so cool, right? Sometimes a scientist creates something, he thinks, wow, it is so nice. On a big picture, we need to understand what is the purpose of it. Huh? And this chapter is giving us that, after all, in the material world, everything is nice or not nice, but this is not everything, but actually there is something beyond it, and that is the Lord. And then, so as I was mentioning to Sanjay Prabhu's question, this chapter summarizes about that, uh, that we detach and reconnect, yoga, reconnecting to the Supreme Lord. Yeah, Gaurav Bhagwan Prabhu.
Yes. But Prabhuji, there is also sometimes they say jungle is in the mode of goodness, or like the yesterday the Prachetas in the Bhagavatam, they went to the place, very beautiful lake and everything. That was also so
Hmm.
some arrangement or some
Yeah,
combination.
some
They also
facilities.
represent or make this.
Yeah, as I said, so this is creation, right? So as I think in this purport or the 1367, we see how this create. Let me see. Based on the fields, there is these creations that are coming, right? Field of activity. If one, no, not here, then this one. No, we are already one was at. Let me see. Different species. Similarly, where particular modes of metal nature are proportionately greater, qualities are there, no? The subsidiary roots, the tendency, the field effect. Yeah. Um, the subsidiary roots are attached to. No, I think it's the in the other one. But based on our desire, yeah, I think here where particular modes of metal nature proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested. Hmm? So um, the arrangements are made according to the desires that we have, and accordingly we are pushed or kept into that system as long as we understand that this is not what I wanted, because we had a wrong desire, and to realize that, yeah, these facilities are arranged. Or actually, what was your question again? Sorry, if I.
We used as we discussed that yeah, there are these elements or ingredients, and
Mhm.
when yeah
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
the
So
field of it, yeah, the soul
yeah,
or the
yeah.
doer
Similarly, just like
engagement.
in, I got it. So just like the ingredients are there, which is made to build big, or amusement parks, and also hospitals. The ingredients are same, based on the need. These things manifest, and the need is driven by the field, and this field is influencing, so that the one who is the living entity who is in the, we call him marginal energy, Yeah, if he is contacting with the material world, material body, and he desires that, then accordingly facilities are provided. Right?
Yes, bro.
Mhm.
Okay, bro.
Yeah. So in summary, it is about that from the unmanifested to the manifested forms. Yeah. So that one can be facilitated with what one desired actually to come to this material world. Those are fulfilled. Of course, still by the predominating deities, by the controlling deities of the sense objects. So there is so much to it. This whole creation is arranged in such a way that we are able to yeah, be in this process of dharma, artha, kama, moksha, right? So when we talk about these four, so this is possible only when there is creation, and this creation is arranged or created in this way. Okay. Okay, then we take one more verse today. I think we have little time. Someone would like to read this?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, okay. Cinema.
Yeah. न रूपम् आश्येह ततो पलभ्यते नतो नाच्छदिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठः अस्वातम् एनं विदुः मूलम् असङ्गशास्त्रेण दद्रेण चित्वा ततः पादं तत् परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निर्वातन्ति भूयः तम् एव चर्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यत प्रवृत्तिः प्रस्तापुराणि. Translation. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. It is now clearly stated that the real form of this
Can you read
banyan
once again the translation, please?
translation. Okay.
And little
The real
slowly.
form of this tree cannot Okay. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, and one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial.
Yeah. Thank you.
But it is now clearly stated that the real form of this banyan tree cannot be understood in this material world. Since the root is upwards, the extension of the real tree is at the other end. When entangled with the material expansions one of the tree, one cannot see how far a tree extends, nor can one see the beginning of this tree. Yet one has to find out the cause. I am the son of my father. My father is the son of such and such a person, etc. By searching in this way, one comes to Brahma, who is generated by the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Finally, in this way, when one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the end of research work. one has to search out that origin of this tree, the supreme personality of Godhead, though the association of persons who are in knowledge of that supreme personality of Godhead. Then, by understanding, one becomes gradually detached from this false reflection of reality, and by knowledge, one can cut off the connection and actually become situated in the real tree.
Yeah.
The word.
So maybe we'll read the next para after we go through this, because this is helps us to understand the first half of this verse. Yeah, if you see, this is actually two verses, 3 and 4. So the real form, thank you, Sindhu Mataji. Yeah. The real form of this tree
Thank you.
cannot be perceived in this word. Very simple. Though we are using banyan tree as an example, banyan tree only gives us how complicated it is. Yeah, it's not normal to any other tree. Yeah, we don't have trees where the roots are coming from up. Hmm. We don't have a tree also which is so huge, which can grow so huge, and which could already was living for so many years, so that we can even relate ourselves with this tree, right? Even now we can find there's so many trees that would have got extinct, but this banyan tree, is still one can see and can take a lot of lessons from it. And Krishna is using this tree, but in reality, this material world, which we are saying is a reflection of the original tree, which is spiritual world. We should understand that this tree, we don't find like just a banyan tree. There is no a tree called Maya tree or something. Yeah. So we should understand that the real form cannot be seen. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, and where its foundation is. Yeah, when I was a kid, I was in Chennai to see this biggest banyan tree. Um, yeah, it's very difficult. I was asking where is the root, because wherever I saw that, oh, this is quite big. I thought that is the root, but after a few kilometers, they say, then there's a big fence. One has to go through the into the park. Someone is from Tamil Nadu or Chennai can say if they have visited this. Yeah, it's not so easy to find where is the start, where is the end. And not only that, one we may not be even able to appreciate how huge it is when we compare with other trees. Yeah, maybe we see that, okay, this um, palm tree, we could see, okay, this many meters, okay, we are measuring, okay, one can say the banyan trees also. But when we talk about the hugeness of it, the tree is so huge. It's not just uh, this many meters, yeah, wide and tall. No, it spreads. It spreads. Um, but with determination. But what is the purpose of this? Yeah, when the tree doesn't exist, why are we using this example? Hmm. It is clear that this clearly stated that the real form of this banyan tree cannot be understood in this material world. Uh, so. Uh, the first reason itself, is we haven't seen some trees which have the roots in up and extension in the other directions and all these things. When we are entangled in the material expansion, we cannot see how far the tree extends. Just we are under the tree, and then when we are seeing this tree, are we able to say how huge it is? Maybe we open a laptop, we can see, we can search, we can, oh, I have a one, um, what do you call this? Droids, right? Is it called droid? Yeah. Uh, drones, sorry. Drone, not droid. Sorry. Yeah, maybe one drone is going up in the sky. It is able to see from where is it starting, where is it ending. Yeah. And then, oh, come on, we have a picture. Yeah. But just imagine if we are under the tree, we no clue. We have no clue how huge it is. So when we are entangled in this metal expansion, when we ourselves are inside it, it's not so easy to understand how far the tree extends and where is the beginning. Uh, um, so, yet one has to find out the cause. One has to find out the cause. Example, I am the son of my father is son of such and such a person, etc. Just like we have we can trace our origin, from where are we? uh, we can say my father is so and so, his father is so and so, and so and so and so and so. That way we can start finding where is the beginning, right? uh, in this searching process we will know, okay, then we know the Brahmaji is the creator, but okay, from whom Brahmaji has come? He has come from Lord Vishnu. So in that way we can trace out the beginning. Finally, in this way, when one reaches the supreme personality of Godhead, that is the end of research work. So this means that one has to it's not like, okay, I am clueless. No, one has to acquire this knowledge. One may think, what is the purpose of knowing the width and breadth of the tree? If we don't know with what we are dealing, we may just continue to be there. Just like we may see sometimes in some, I don't know if you've seen some movies where people will show, hey, he is a slave. Not only his father is slave. Not only his father, his ancestors are slaves to us. Yeah. So one can become enslaved, and for generations, yeah, or at least for the Jivatma, he can be enslaved and can move from one branch to the other branch. He can get stuck and he can get struggling. It's all going to be very difficult. So when one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then his research work ends. One has to search out that origin of this tree, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the cue to understand that what is the real yoga is to actually look for, is to actually search, to really search out the origin of everything. And then we understand, oh, so then we understand who is the creator. Then comes, yeah, the next verses will tell, oh, the Supreme Lord is not only the creator, but he's also the maintainer. Huh? And what is the object of, or the goal, objective for us? All these things will be explained in the next verses. Then, by understanding, one becomes gradually detached from this false reflection of reality. And by knowledge, one can cut off the connection and actually become situated in the reality. We don't want to be in illusion. No one wants, right? Who wants to be in illusion? Hmm? Anyone? Anyone thinks staying in illusion is nice? No, we don't want, because we know that there is a risk of something uh, happen. There is always a risk because we are in illusion. That means we are not in on real grounds, which means anything can happen. But if I am in reality, then I know, okay, I am real, and I know how to handle, okay, what I need. Uh, so in that way, we don't want to be in the false reflection, but in the real, and that is the goal. Yeah. And yeah, thank you. Any questions in this part before we go to the next one? Hmm? No? Then yeah, let's proceed to the next part. Yeah, Sundar.
Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, please. Hmm?
Uh,
Yes, please.
The word asanga is very important in this connection because the attachment for sense enjoyment and lording it over the material nature is very strong. Therefore, one must learn detachment by discussion of spiritual science based on authoritative scriptures, and one must hear from persons who are actually in knowledge. As a result of such discussion in this association of devotees, one comes to spiritual personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then the first thing one must do is surrender to Him. The description of that place when having gone one never returns to this false reflected tree is given here. The supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original root from whom everything has emanated. To gain the favor of that personality of Godhead, one has only to surrender, and this is a result of performing devotional service by hearing, chanting, etc. He is the cause of the extension of the material world. This has already been explained by the Lord Himself. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. I am the origin of everything. Therefore, to get out of the entanglement of this strong banyan tree, one material life, one must surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders on to Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from this material extinction. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Srinivatan. So here we are talking about that, okay, when we know the problem is that we are thinking illusion to be real, yeah, and when we understand that this is not going to solve our problem, we need to find a way how to actually attain our goal or objective of life, and the word asanga. Sangha means to associate. Asanga means to disassociate or develop detachment. Because with asanga or sangha, one becomes actually attached for sense enjoyment. And because of that, what is happening is one is hopping from one branch of this tree to the other branch or from one loka. We know that there are 14 lokas which are categorized into three. Um, Lower Patal Lok, Bhulok, and Swargalok. But actually, there is this whole 14 planetary planets. When we talk about planetary systems that are coming, we can see that Brahma is created. Yeah? He's sitting on the lotus flower, and the um, stem, yeah, that is coming from Lord Vishnu. There are 14 planets. So one may think higher planets are good, he may go up. One may think lower planets are good, he may go down. Uh, and as long as one is attached to the results or the fruits of it, one wants to enjoy them because, oh, it's so nice. Let me go on a very nice vacation because it gave me so nice taste. Of course, it means a lot of work. I have to work 5 days a week. I have to save all my holidays. But after all, come on, it's worthwhile. Let me do all these things and after earn, and then we may go up. Huh? So we may enjoy, and then afterwards, again, now we come back and then again spend time earning money, earning the piety, and then again spending it, earning and spending, earning and spending. So this is one detachment by discussion of spiritual science based on the authoritative scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and one must hear from persons who are actually in knowledge. So this is very important. Wherever sadhus are speaking about this subject, unfortunate thing is that in today's world, the universities are thinking spirituality is a vague subject. Spirituality is maybe not real. uh, we are thinking what is unreal to be real, which means obviously what is real we will think it is unreal because of the spell that we are in. So rather, no, one should benefit by studying the scriptures thoroughly, scrutinizingly. Then the first thing one must do is uh, to actually associate means, uh, even if we want to join some communities, like even if it is a Gujarati community, if it is a Telugu community, or it is any kind of community, the community will have some rules or guidelines or regulations. Yeah, this is what we want to do, and we want to maintain our culture, we want to maintain our customs, we want to follow our traditions. So for that, these are the conditions one has to do, and based on that, one is surrendering to those customs or conditions, and then he's being part of it. So as a result, so here what when we want to, and then you can start thinking of associating with those kind of people. Hmm? So similarly, when we are talking about sangha, sangha of devotees, we are not talking about any other kind of sanghas, because all other sanghas are based on what will I get if I be part of it. If I am creating a sangha, the sangha's intention is to do what? What is the best I want to get from here? Hmm? I'm ready to pay. Come on, I can become an executive member of it. Huh? I can get more privileges. Huh? I don't know if you guys have come across something called country clubs or Hyderabad, yeah, club. So these kind of clubs, the agenda is what? Hey, you just spend very little money and we will give you all pleasures. Yeah, you can go and stay with your loved ones in some nice resorts, or you have a nice club, nice swimming pool, nice that, nice this. Otherwise, you won't even go. Isn't it? Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, will you go there? If there are no facilities, why will you join there? Are you going to build all those things, or are you going to enjoy all those things?
We will not.
Hmm? The purpose of that is what? To actually take, right? Not to give. Hmm?
True.
Of course, one may say maybe in disguise can still say no, no, no. After all, we want to maintain this community. All those things I have really valued it. My life, I want to give it to my generations. No, still, as soon as there is discomfort, or as soon as there is nothing what you wanted is happening, you would like to say, hey, no, no, no. I'll find something where I am happy. So we are not talking about this kind of material sanghas where the associations are coming and yeah, somehow obligatory, somehow social, somehow I don't know, customary. Hmm? No, we are talking about that asanga. We are talking is actually to give up that kind of association, because that will give us more entanglement, because we start identifying ourselves with those kind of groups. Huh? And then we start tend to think, hey, I am part of it. Though my heart is saying something else, no, 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 I think I'm part of it. And in that way, so many people, yeah, for example, if we are not if we now talk about terrorists, yeah, not just about communities, maybe they are sattvic terrorists. People are initially not terrorists, but what is happening is because they are part of such kind of extremist groups, then their bhav, their emotions, their sentiments also are changed. And that's why anyway, all these things are called attachments, because the attachment for sense enjoyment and lording it over the material nature is very, very strong. And that is the cause of all our suffering. That is the cause of our jumping from branch to branch, hopping here and there, hoping for something that we think this will give me ultimate happiness. That is not going to happen. Only one association that can save is association of devotees. Only association of devotees, only the devotees. When we are talking about devotees, we are not talking again about um, mm, yeah, after all, yeah, my community is um, mm, devotional community based on religion. Now we are talking about really prioritizing devotion as the topmost. Yeah, we really are talking about one who understood that mm, it is the supreme lord, yeah, and I'm his servant. Only one who understands this, we call it as actually association, sangha. Then the first thing one must do is to surrender to him, to the supreme personality of Godhead. uh, the description of that place, when having gone, one never returns to this false reflected tree, is given here. So when we then connect, when we surrender to the Supreme Lord, then we go to the real original place. Just like when a master is pleased, he will give all facilities to the servant. Similarly, when the master, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is the creator, who is the maintainer, who is the enjoyer, uh, not just enjoyer, not just creator, not just maintainer. I think even we are doing it. Yeah, Sanjeev Bro, I think in labs we also create so many things, isn't it? So many experiments can give us so many things. We are not like talking about this kind of creation. We are talking about ultimate creator, the supreme creator. So he is the supreme creator, and he is the supreme maintainer. He is the one who is maintaining everything. uh, it is not that okay, uh, to what do we need for
Your voice is breaking,
we
Prabhuji,
need
in between.
soil and all. Okay, so from where shall I start? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Give me one
Prabhuji.
second. Let me move to a different room then. Is it breaking or not?
It's
Now
fine now.
it's clear.
Give me one second. Give me one second. I'll move to a different room. Yeah. Let me try here. So Sanjay Prabhu, from where shall I start?
Yeah, I think last
Repeat.
1 minute, so it was breaking, but yeah, I think the message is clear. So yeah.
Yeah. The essence is that we need to understand what is a real sangha. Yeah, we are not just talking about so many so many sanghas are forming, hoping that we will be ultimately happy. But the principle is that everyone wants to enjoy. Yes, everyone wants to enjoy, but the secret of enjoyment is actually by serving. And yes, of course, we are also serving, but in that service, there is also duplicity, which means I want to be served. I'm joining a club so that I'll be served with all the facilities. I will be served by all servants. I'm ready to pay anything, but I want to be served. That is the spirit. And that's not what we call real Sangha. Real Sangha is actually serving, and which means the spirit of serving is actually by taking shelter, by actually surrendering. And this is what we are seeing here. And then we can actually attain that place. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the original root. Yeah, we were talking about Supreme Enjoyer, Supreme Creator, and Supreme Maintainer. Yeah, Supreme Proprietor. Yeah. So these are three things. Uh, we can understand. Okay. Yeah, which means I am not the master. I am not the um, enjoyer. Yeah, of course I am enjoyer. Otherwise, there is no question of thinking about happiness. But I am not the supreme enjoyer. I'm not Purusha means enjoyer. I'm not Purushottama. I'm just a Purusha. Means okay, I have the potential propensity to enjoy, but not as much as the Supreme Lord. So all these things we should understand, and this is what how can we understand? One must learn detachment by discussion of spiritual science based on authoritative scriptures, and one must hear from persons who are actually in knowledge. Huh? Otherwise, how can a blind man help a blind man? Yeah. So Krishna himself is saying that Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha. I am the cause, origin of everything. Now, I think the classic example of if a child wants to know who is his father, uh, what does he do? He won't just start going for a DNA test, or he won't just go to every person and ask, "Hey, are you my father? Are you my father?" We simply go and ask the mother. The child knows who is his father. Similarly, the scriptures, authoritative scriptures are which are Vedas, uh, are a mother to connect to our father. As soon as one surrenders unto the Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from this material existence, the extension. Okay. Any question in this part? I think we went through what is the solution for relieving ourselves from this entanglement.
I have a question regarding the detachment.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, I want to know, like, what do you mean when you say being detached? Like, what should be the nature of our relationship then with the material world? And
Uh-huh.
also, I think in my understanding, the detachment also means getting detached from the uh, person or human beings as well, right? As in our family members, etc. So, what should be the nature of our relationship to them, to our family members, to our
Mm.
husband, wife, etc. when we are getting detached? So, if
Okay.
you can shed some light on this.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
to understand what is detachment, let's understand what is actually attachment. Yeah. So attachment is to get ourselves absorbed and involved. Attach when there is something, and then when we bring something in contact with it, then this is called what I call attachment, right? So this material world, let's say if this left hand is our material world, and I, which is a spirit soul or jivatma or living entity, when I come and in contact with this, then what is happening? I'm developing attachment, right? And then we start tending to think, hey, both are same, isn't it? Sometime after some time, we are not in a position to know what is what. Just like when a fire, I don't know if you have seen somewhere where they start molding steel, right? Hmm? They put the iron rod into fire. They heat up the rod so much that you may start seeing that this rod is also becoming fire, right?
Yes, Prabhupada.
But the iron is iron and fire is fire. It is only like we are seeing because it's dominant by the element of fire, which the fire is hot and also the rod is hot. Yeah. At one stage, it's not that this iron is disappearing or dissolving. Yeah. Still the iron, though it melts, that still in a liquid form is still iron. It doesn't become fire. So I'm saying at the same time that this rod is becoming fire. At the same time, I'm saying this rod and or the iron or is different from fire, right? Which means qualitatively they are same. What is happening? Qualitatively they are same. Like, okay, this heated up iron is becoming also the fire. Yeah, just like how a fire can burn. Yeah, you just take this iron rod and you put on a hand. It can also burn our hand. It is developing this property. So when we seeing similarly, when this metal energy, when this iron rod or this jivatma, when it comes in contact, it starts to also get attached to it, right? Or we call it as influenced by it. When we are really now talking about what is attachment, it is actually the influence that it's making. Okay, this is what is attachment. And now just imagine if the same iron rod is put in the fire, but if it is protected, what can happen? Nothing will happen, right? The example is we see sometimes the fire workers, yeah, in Germany, they enter into the fire to protect people who are burning, right? From a fire accident. Are they burnt?
No,
Hmm?
Prabhupada, no.
No, they have special jackets. They have fireproof jackets, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So now when we're talking about detaching, it is through this means, this knowledge. When we have this knowledge, just like it will protect us as a jacket, then we are not attached to it. We are not attracted to it. We are not affected by it. And now coming back, at least now we understand, okay, there is something which can help us to get detached. Is this clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhupada. Yeah.
And we are talking this knowledge as what? Scriptures, authoritative scriptures. And through this authoritative scriptures, and now comes to your question, okay, in practical life, what does it mean? Right? The scriptures are telling us how to deal, so that we are not too much attached, we are not too much detached, we are not behind name, we are not behind fame. Anasaktasya vishayan. We should not be so much excited with things that are materially. Oh, no, no, no. If I do this, I'll be materially happy. If I do this, oh, I'll be suffering. So if our focus is all about how to deal in the material world, yeah, that will only create us attachment. Rather, if we understand this knowledge through which we can say, okay, this is only entangling me because I'm just going to from uh, okay, let's talk about a family. I think what is the role of a person? Yeah, he is sometimes having a cap of what is it called? A father, a cap of a mother, cap of a child, cap of a employee, employer. So many caps, so many. We have so many upadhis, we have so many identities, isn't it? Hmm? Just like we may go to see a stage show, a drama, where a person, when he's doing a role of a father, he starts acting also like a father, right? When he's doing a role of a manager, he also will act like a manager. Similarly, when we identify with so many things, we tend to think so much these are real, right? Isn't it? After all, hey, come on, I have a child means I'm a father, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I have a wife. Oh, okay, then I am husband. I am so and so, so many things. But what is still a eternal relationship or eternal identity is I am just servant of the Supreme Lord. That identity we have not understood. But in this whole business, what we started doing is when we entered this world, we started building our associations in different forms. I'm associating that I am father, I'm associating I am mother, I'm associating that, I'm associating this, in the end, what is happening is I'm not even knowing that who I am really. So then what is happening is our dealings are only limited to those understandings which are mundane, and that's the reason we are getting attached, and attached. Yeah. Yeah. And then the real identity, when we understand through the scriptures, then we see, oh, okay, after all, okay, I am, come on, I am father, but actually I am a servant of the Lord. Now I will do my best role as the father, being a servant of the Lord. What does it mean? What does it mean to be best father? Is to make our children Krishna conscious. So you're getting the point, Sanjay Prabhu? Whatever upadhis, whatever the duties that we have to do, that being in a community, being in a society, or accepting the duties, yeah, there is this two kinds of duties. One duty is that we are in this world, so there are certain duties. But there is also one duty which is eternal, which is that we are servant of the Lord and we serve the Lord. And when we bring these two things together, then we understand how we can practice being a father, how to be a perfect father, or if I'm perfect citizen, how to be a perfect citizen. So all this in relation to Krishna. Then what we are doing is, then whatever we are giving up, for example, uh, anashaktasya vishayan. What is happening? Anashaktasya vishayan. Vishaya means material activities. Yeah. So anasakti, we should be detached to those. And yathartham upayunjataha, anukulyena Krishna, what is it? No, that is nirbandha Krishna sambandha yuktam vairagyam uchyati. Yeah. Nirbandha Krishna sambandha. So when we do all in the understanding of that, everything is for Krishna. Yeah. So whether it is taking care of a child, taking care of a parent, taking care of everything, whatever we are doing, then this is what means to be detached. We are detachment from the material world, which also means that we are detached from the results that will come on there. Why will there be any results? Huh? Yeah, you're getting it? Or
Yes, Prabhuji, but yeah, I understand that once this realization come that I am not like I should not be entangled in this material world, then obviously there is a detachment, I think, achieved. And
Mhm.
but my question is, or my doubt is regarding the pleasure-seeking activities. So, what do you say? Like,
Yeah.
when detachment also means that we should not take pleasure out of this material world?
Because we know that this pleasure and pain will again induce us pleasure and pain, so we should understand that. Um, I think that when a camel is eating the cactus fruit in a desert, it is enjoying. Yeah, when it is enjoying, it is so much enjoying that wow, so nice juice is coming from this fruit. No, actually, the juice is coming from the blood. It's actually because the cactus fruit has thorns. And what is happening? These thorns are actually piercing, and these thorns are actually, the blood is oozing, and the camel thinks that, oh, this is so nice juice. And what is happening afterwards? Yeah, when it comes, when that whole enjoyment comes to a halt, then it starts realizing what it has done. So when we have these examples, then we are more careful, because the activities that are done in the mode of passion, the activities that are done in mode of ignorance will give us immediate happiness, but on a long term they will only cause distress. Whereas a life of mode of in the mode of goodness is very austere in the beginning, but then once we purify our consciousness, what we enjoy is only happiness. Now it's our choice. Do we want to have enjoyment first and suffer eternally, or do we want to struggle now so that enjoy eternally? What do you choose? Hmm? Sanjay Prabhu?
I'm still thinking.
What about others? What do you say? What do we want? Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu, it is difficult to control the sense gratification urge, but if we can control it, then it will, in the long term,
Yeah.
it will benefit us in terms of, attaining that
Yeah.
uh, divine.
So, yeah. What is happening is that we do not want to give up happiness now. What? Come on, Sanjay Prabhu, you're already having nice facilities, nice provisions that you made for happiness, isn't it? Huh? So we are counting on the returns now. When we are counting on the returns, but if we know this, these returns will only give me more obligations. Huh? Someone is saying, "Hey, I will give you 1 lakh, but you have to sign that you will work for me for rest of your life." What will we do? Are we ready to sign? Huh? Parth Prabhu? I don't think you will sign such a contract, right?
No, not at all true.
At the moment, we don't know what is the cost of the enjoyment we are enjoying now. Hmm? We don't know what is the effect of what actions we perform, what is the cost of it that we have to suffer later. We don't know. As long as I don't know, I think, okay, it's cool. No, but when we know this is the root cause of our suffering, then we will be little cautious, very careful. Just like in Germany, when we are driving cars, yeah, now and then, Satish Prabhu, when we get bill, we become alert, right? Oh, I have to pay fine. Next time I'll avoid it. Huh? Otherwise, if there is no cameras, then I can just go with full speed. With pleasure is always there. So nice. There is also a penalty. When we come to senses, then we are looking also what is the penalty, how much we have to pay. But when we are in the mode of passion, we are not thinking, oh, come on, let me earn later. That is okay. Let me first enjoy. First enjoyment, then actually work out.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with respect to the questions raised by Sagar Prabhu and Sanjeev Prabhu, I mean, I have one layman example. Actually, recently, I think in the month of November, Cricket World Cup happened. India reached finals, and the whole world, whole India was expecting India will win the World Cup. So they are extremely attached to the it's still sports, right? Mode of passion. So the pleasure was there that okay, we will all see India lift the World Cup. And that day was a Sunday. I mean, it was November 19th, I remember. We were returning from Vrindavan, and that day was a Sunday. So many people, I think even I heard from Ram Raghav Prabhu, because there was a Sunday program also in the temple in Gauradesh. Of course, I mean, as usual. But that day, because it was a cricket match, many people prioritized the sensory pleasure first. Like, okay, let's get glued to the TV. because it's very important. Let's enjoy the moment. And India lost. Okay. And when India lost, there were so many articles, lot of disappointment. Some people did not even attend offices. Some people did not give examinations. Some people lost their basic happiness. They lost actually, because I was reading a lot of news articles and everything. And His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu took this topic, and he explained that because we are so much engaged in the material world, sensory pleasure, we are so much attached to the result, and that result is actually, we are entangled there. Literally, the whole India got entangled in the in the success and the failure of the cricket world Cup for almost a month. I mean, like they were writing, or even if you open Twitter or any social media, it's about this. So this is one realization also. Like, I mean, for the question just raised, that had we focused on what is our responsibility during that day, like maybe going to a temple or whatever is our responsibility, that seems very difficult. But later we enjoy. I mean, as you said, first we suffer and then later we enjoy the spiritual happiness. But because we all focus on the material entanglement, we want the result first, we suffer later. So
yeah, and I think the question actually here, as Parth Prabhu was asking, is, yeah, we know all these things. Dinath Prabhu, we know we should not have prioritized for cricket. We should have prioritized for the temple. But it's too difficult because I'm already getting, every day I saw a match, when India is winning, I'm great. I'm very happy. After all, is it not quite exciting? And is it not happiness actually, after all? Yeah. And then that also promises me that, come on, this time again I'll have, once again I will not miss an opportunity for enjoying it. Yeah, I think Parth Prabhu was this, more uh, uh, looking towards the promising happiness of the world.
No, Prabhu, I didn't ask that. I said that it is difficult to control these urges of getting this
That is coming
happiness.
because we hope for happiness. The urge is coming because we are somehow thinking that, yes, definitely I will succeed in happiness. Otherwise, when we already know it will not work, why will the urge will be so much pushy?
Yeah, when you develop this faith in the Krishna consciousness and the spiritual activities, so these type of getting temporary material happiness, the urge of getting temporary material happiness will automatically go away. I mean,
we come to that. Yeah, thank you. We come to that. There are two hands up. One, Jai Shri Mataji and Sagar Prabhu on this.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I want to say something of your question, that first we want um, pain and then we want to gain because we know the result was very good. And I think that in material world also, they people take so much pain when we are doing some gym, or when we are having want to have a Katrina Kaif body. So we are doing first we are doing so much pain. We are controlling our food senses. We are doing so much of exercise. There is also pain, urges also come in that. But people don't think, people are so much attracted. They have a picture of I want to have this type of body. So they are doing all this pain in material life. When we are open the Facebook, they are not open just automatically. First we are doing the account, then we are taking pain, then we are open, then we are surfing. So there is pain in enjoyment also. But they do, but if their determination is good, that they know the result is Krishna, then they take the pain. If the determination is not that sufficient, just like gym body or the Facebook enjoyment with friends, so then they take some what's called bahana, that
Reason.
in Hindi, reasons. give some reasons that, oh no, I have to do this. So the basic point is determination.
Yeah, nice point. Yeah. Sagar Prabhu?
Yes, Rose, I think you are most likely going in this. I mean, going about to say maybe what I am saying. I do not know, but what I wanted to add is that I came across this ladder of happiness, which actually helped me personally a lot. 2 years back, where it is very clear that the lowest rung in that ladder is actually the sense gratification, because it's clear that if we eat a sweet once, it will give us immense happiness. But if you take the same sweet 10 times or 20 times the very same minute, it gives us immediate pain. So one thing is, how could that be happiness if it can't sustain for a longer time? That is a question that we have to pose. So the question is, do we need temporary happiness which would go away in 1 minute, or we would want long lasting happiness? And since we said the lowest rung is actually the sense gratification, the next rung is actually the seva, and then the next rung is actually the intellectual happiness. The third rung is the seva, and then the highest one, which is everlasting, is the spiritual happiness, where
Prema.
one would immense in that service. Exactly. So I mean, I did not explain a lot in this creative and seva, but that also are let's say slightly longer lasting, which would help us go in this sattvic mode, which would also be a way towards going towards the spiritual path. But then the ultimate is that spiritual happiness, which would last forever, which is nothing but moksha.
Yeah, thanks, Sagar Prabhu. And using your analogy, when we are talking about a ladder, sometimes what happens is we are not able to see there are any rungs above the sense enjoyment. That is the reason most of the time we dwell only in that. And that is the subject of today's class, where we are talking about attachment to the lower rungs, thinking that is the supreme enjoyment, or there is no other alternative, right? Just imagine, I don't know if you have seen in Duisburg, there is a forum, a shopping mall, and there is a ladder that is coming out. I don't know what is the reason, but they have built a ladder made of some gold painted and all. It is actually, you can see from very far place, but in the building you can only see 2-3 rungs. Yeah, in the building you can only, I don't know if someone from Duisburg have seen this. Adresa Prabhu? No. Yeah, there is this, as soon as you enter you see there is this one very, very tall ladder that is it's as a monument, I don't know what. So, but if you're inside, you can only see 2 or 3, or I don't even know if they are rungs. But when we see from outside the building, then we start seeing so many rungs which are actually, oh, it's going into the sky, almost very tall. And our vision, when we are not having this, as you said, the intellect, as long as we don't have this shastric knowledge, understanding, we tend to think this is everything, this is happiness. That's why we compromise. Oh, come on, there is pain, but I know there is also pleasure. There is also suffering. There is also happiness. All these things we are. Okay, Sanjay Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. So I think I get the idea from the comments that many people made. So it like made things clearer. But I just have one more doubt. So that I want to get your comment on this. So somebody mentioned about the cricket match. So we should not be like focused on like people are so much focused on getting enjoyment from this cricket match that they forgot to come to the temple itself. So what if we have this realization and but we still watch the cricket match and we still listen to some songs, for example, or live in this material world, but we still have this realization, yeah, that
Yeah.
this is not the ultimate thing, and we don't have to get entangled in this. So,
Yeah.
what do you say about it? What's how about
So
this approach?
yeah. So first thing is, when we are telling this, we cannot call this as a realization. We can only say we are aware of it, knowledge. Yeah. There is a difference between jnana and vijnana. Jnana means knowledge that, oh, after all, yeah, we know that all these things are temporary. This will give only happiness. Yeah. We have not yet realized it. We only know it, right? When we actually put it into practice, in practice, when we see, okay, we go to a temple, in the same example, when we go to a temple, yeah, though it is same kirtan, it is same katha, it is same prasadam, the day is same like every Sunday, huh? Yeah, but we have stick to something that will give us eternal result. Whereas even if we have missed out that match, for example, yeah, whether after all, when we know the result, we may think, oh, I missed it. But because we have the knowledge and we are applying it in practice, then we start developing realization. Hey, did I really miss so much? No. Okay, I have missed something. All this, when we put it into practice, what we are going through, that is what is realization. Okay, first thing and then sometimes we have um, self-realization. Self-realization is about to really understand, not just from material point of view, oh, I missed, I gained something, I lost something. That is realization, because I did something, something came out which I think as profit or something as loss. That is our material realization. Then there is spiritual realization, or even up to really identify ourselves. That is self-realization, where we understand, yes, as a duty, I could serve the Lord because I could make Sunday a visit to the temple. So first thing, darshan. It's already one kind of service. I have done it. I sat in the kirtan, though the kirtans are still telling only Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But I dutifully or with heart, I have taken part in that service. When there is the scriptures which are discussed, I could sit in that, I could honor prasadam. Huh? So what is happening? All these things are that we, from the shastras, we can see, hey, these are eternal results that we are getting. So now, with our vichakshana, with our, as you said, the realization, our realization today has prioritized for Sunday. Maybe tomorrow it has not prioritized for the temple visit. It would have prioritized for some material things. But eventually, we come, the more and more we are experiencing or putting it into practice, we come to this understanding, yes, I should have prioritized my life for devotion way long ago, but I made a mistake. Do we want to catch our head and think like that? Hmm? Do we want to hold our head and say, hey, I missed an opportunity? Or do we want to be little serious to say, yeah, no, with this realization, I came to know that, yes, I am doing it right. Let me do it more. Though I'm not getting same happiness, oh, which I would have got from going to a movie or going to watch a match or going to a party. And maybe I'm not getting that. But what is that we are getting is eternal benefit based on the sound proof of Shastras. Sanjeev Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji. Sorry. Yeah.
one small thing. Can we express this same question in
Yeah.
a similar way, in different way? Sanjeev, Prabhu,
Okay.
where we say, I mean, most of us are engineers here, right? So can I say I have the engineering skills, but I would not want to put to use, which means I do not want to work as an engineer? What does it mean? Right? I mean, I know something, but I do not want to put it in use. What would be the end
If
result of
Sanjay
that?
Prabhu is confirming this question, can you repeat it?
Your voice was breaking, Prabhuji. We couldn't hear you.
So what you're saying is, I know what to do, but I'm not doing it. What will happen? Is that the question?
I didn't ask the question. The question was put up by Vidya Sagar.
Okay.
No. I thought that was your question. So I was just reframing it in a different way where, can we reframe it in a different way where we say, I have the engineering skills, I know what an engineer needs to do, but I would not want to put it in use.
Yes, if that is our dharma, that to implement our engineering skills, if that is our swadharma, and if we are not adhering to it, then that means we are not following our dharma.
No, then should we again ask Sanjeev Prabhu to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because now we have three different questions. Are these similar?
Yeah. Sorry for the confusion.
No. So Sanjay Prabhu, what you are saying is that when we have realization, I will phrase it. Yeah, please confirm. When we have realization that we should do these things, that we know that material things are painful, spiritual things are right, but we are not able to do. Why? Is that the question?
Like my question was, for example, people live in Grihastha Jivan. Even in ISKCON, people are living in Grihastha Jivan. So at least they are taking some kind of enjoyment out of it as compared to the person who is like a brahmachari or have
Okay.
left everything. So the brahmachari person has like left all kind of enjoyment even as compared to the Grihastha Jivan. So if you can so I in my understanding there is a lower level of enjoyment, then there is a higher level of enjoyment in connecting with the God Krishna. So is it okay to come to this lower level of enjoyment, because this is all relative, right? So somebody is brahmachari, he is like more closer to the higher level of enjoyment, and somebody is in grihast, that is up maybe one step below this. So what do you think about?
So, yeah, ultimately, whether one is in grahastha, whether one is in brahmachari, whether one is in vanaprastha or sannyas, all the four, yeah, are engaged in the in service of the Lord. Yeah. So because everyone is a servant of the Lord, only thing is different roles we have took in the society. Yeah. One has become a brahmachari, that he himself says, oh, I want to always absorb myself in following brahmacharya, celibacy. Yeah. Why is he doing that? Ultimately, he want to serve the Lord, isn't it? Huh? It's not like a status symbol that, hey, I am a brahmachari, and then he goes around. Not the purpose, right? Follow brahmacharya is to actually be more and more close to Krishna, close to the Lord, to understand his principles, to lead a detached life. And now the question comes about, what about grihasthas? Yeah? As you rightly said, okay, there is some provision of sense enjoyment, but you know what? This sense enjoyment, yeah, and a responsible grihastha has a bigger role to play in the society. What is he doing? Brahmachari is not going to need not actually work his livelihood. Rather, Grihastha ashram is the ashram that is going to provide all the facilities that are required either for a brahmachari or a vanaprastha or a sannyas. So now we see that for that pleasure, yeah, because as you said, after all, I have conditioning, after all, I have desires. Okay, I have decided for Grihastha ashram. Yeah, then there is also some service for it that we have to do, that we are supposed to do. Yeah, you're getting it? We don't actually, if you see from varnashram system, we don't see that brahmachari or vanaprastha or sannyas, they have to go, they have to work hard, they have to earn their livelihood. No, it is the grihastha ashrams who have to invite them to our home. We have to take care of their maintenance. That is the system.
I get it, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and as you rightly said, we don't want to artificially follow brahmachari, or we don't want to artificially become sannyas. Yeah, because that is only a disturbance to the society. Because a person who has sense enjoyment propensities, and if he becomes a sannyas, we know what is happening already in the world today. It is far better to be a grihastha and to practice devotion. Yeah, it's not like, okay, you only if you become a sannyas, then only you are the topmost devotee of the Lord. In Bhagavatam, we come across so many examples. Maharaj Ambarish, Maharaj Prithu, Maharaj Janaka, Maharaj, even Lord Ramchandra. Are they not grihasthas?
Yes, I think, but they live in a Maryada, so maybe this Maryada or the code of
Exactly.
conduct should be clear, I think.
Exactly. And that is what we're talking about, detachment. Yeah. Very nicely put. Yeah, as you said, Maryada. When we follow the regulations, and with understanding that by following these regulations, I get closer to Krishna, that is the perfection of detachment. That is what Krishna is saying. Rupa Goswami is giving in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. What is he saying is that, yes, anashaktasya vishayan, don't be attached to all these things. Anasakti, show anasakti to material things, because this will only entangle us. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyati. Nirbandha, without any condition, without anything, just do what is suitable for bhakti. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyati. We don't want vairagya, we don't want detachment, because detachment is quite dangerous. Because when a person becomes detached, he starts thinking, I am great. Detachment shouldn't make us feel that I am master. Now see, I have controlled my senses, I am great. No. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. After detachment, what we have to do? We have to engage ourselves in yukta. Yukta means, yeah, we have meaning of yukta means youth. But yukta means also means intelligence. Yukta vairagyam. We are not talking about just vairagya. We are talking about intelligent vairagya. Intelligently engaging in vairagya. What is that? Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhi. To engage all our time, all our resources, everything in service of Krishna. Because He is our Father, He is our maintainer, He is our creator, He is our protector. He is everything for us. Which means then we have to genuinely, obviously, take shelter of Him and serve Him. That is what is called the topmost vairagya, which is called Yukta Vairagya. And depending on Varnashrama system, one can engage themselves. If he's a brahmachari, there are regulations, as you said, the rules and regulation guidance. He has to follow that. If he's a grihastha, what he should do. Janak Maharaj being still a grihastha, he is one of the Mahajans who perfected his life, being a king, but also a grihastha. We can talk about Prithu Maharaj also. We can talk about Ambarish Maharaj. So many. Ambarish Maharaj. I mean, whole Bhagavatam, we can see so many grihasthas. So we cannot see that, okay, grihastha, okay, there is sense enjoyment. That's why they are lower than other ashrams. No. If a person who is in grihastha ashram is able to regulate his life according to the scriptures, if he is able to support each other such a way that they can attain that goal, yeah, scriptures say that a grihastha is also a sannyas. Prabhupada says that. Scripture says that a grihastha is also already a sannyas because he is already leading a detached life. So for that matter, one need not give up his wife. If both can work together, that they can always keep Krishna in the center and practice grihastha ashram regulations by supporting the other ashramas, that is perfect. Yeah. Sanjeev Prabhu.
Yeah, Dhanyavad Prabhuji. Today it was a really like it made my understanding better. So I thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes. Asanga and Sangha. Yeah, it's a very important thing. Thank you. Sagar Prabhu, by the way, did I touch on the lines in lines, or you want to add something?
I mean, can we also say, probably, whether it's okay to actually have the material pleasures? It's also okay to have the kama. Kama is not just pleasures, but any desires. But as long as it is within the dharma, so that's why we say dharma the kama. That would lead to moksha. right? So the key question is the desire should be as per the scriptures, and if it is within the scriptures, it is okay to have the desires, right? Is that true?
The challenge here is that when you're saying the material desires, we have always a danger of falling because of such a material desire. We don't know, right? Yeah? We may think this is a small desire. Everyone thinks this is only a small desire, right? Just imagine a small hole in a boat. Yeah, the hole, come on, how big it is? Very small, right? What can happen? Yeah, we are putting patch after patch after patch so that the water doesn't come. But once there is a hole, it's very difficult. We are thinking we are putting patch, but yeah, I think though we are in 21st century, the patches didn't work, right? Why to give room only unless we are so much attached? And now the solution, when Sanjeev Prabhu asked this question first time, actually the solution is very clear. The solution is to acquire this knowledge. But as he said, yeah, come on, I already have the knowledge, I have the realization, but I'm not able to do it. I think Parth Prabhu was also saying it's very difficult. Why it is difficult? Because we have not purified our consciousness. That is our problem. Because we have not put effort to purify our consciousness, that's why we are always still dirty. Our thoughts are dirty, our actions are dirty, our deeds are dirty. That's why what is happening? What is happening? With little realization, we become puffed up. Isn't it, Sanjay Prabhu? Sometimes what happens? If we know, we feel we are great, isn't it?
This is what exactly happens, and that's why I'm especially confused. So I think that I know some of this, and maybe it like protects me from the harmful effects.
Yeah. At the same time, scripture are saying the more you know, you become more humble. Then we know, okay, the purpose of knowledge is not to show off or not to feel great. The purpose of knowledge is to do what? To really use it. When we really to start using, as you said, knowing is one thing, but when we start using, then the struggle starts. Oh, by doing this, I have to be very vigilant. Otherwise, I become more proud. I become more proud. What is the use of all the knowledge? I'm be just doomed because so many pundits and so many great people who are experts in grammar can give so many things, but in the end, only a devotee, huh? Only a devotee succeeds. Who is a devotee? Who has put that knowledge in action. Krishna never said that, hey, by knowledge you can become proud. He didn't approve it, right? He didn't approve that, hey, acquire knowledge and become great. He just said acquire knowledge and engage in service. So, just like a mad elephant, no, not even mad elephant, any elephant, you will see that after it takes nice bath in the sea or water, after coming out, it will throw sand on its own body. And what is the purpose of actually taking a bath? What is the purpose of acquiring all knowledge when we again want to put all the dirt? Now I become a head of the company, or now I become the head of the family. I have become head of that, head of this, all these heads. Where do we want to keep them? What is the purpose of all those heads? I don't know if you have seen Mahabharat. Bhishma Dev, right? When he is prince, he killed so many kings. No, not Bhishma Dev. Pandu. When Pandu Maharaj was expanding, I don't know if you have seen, he brings helmets of all of them. All the king's helmets, there will be one ray of all the helmets or the crowns that he brings. What is the purpose? Every head will be chopped like that. There is only one person has to come, he will simply chop and go. That's it. So acquiring knowledge is actually to engage in the service. And one who is doing service, Lord will always grant protection. Yeah, if you see, Arjuna also killed so many heads, but Arjuna had no sin committed. Why? Because it's approved. Right? Hmm? Isn't it, Sanjay Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Just like a militant, if he shoots gun, he will put in jail. If a police shoots a gun, he is not put in jail. He is given medals for his bravery. Yeah. Okay. I think we took a lot more time than normal. Sorry for others. If it's yeah, a little longer. Yeah. So coming back, yeah, let's look for association of devotees, because that is the only saving grace. That is the only saving grace, because association of devotees, we discuss about the important things of our life. Then we, as I said, one is once we have this realization, we need to, yeah, purify. Sorry, just to kind of complete that in that place is, yeah, just like elephant is throwing the sand and becoming dirty, we are also always thinking all these things and becoming dirty. The only and only way is purification is possible by chanting the name of the Lord, because there is no danger. If you take the name of the Lord, there is no risk of fall down. If I am getting knowledge, I have a risk. Yeah, a gyanis have a risk of fall down. A yogi has a risk of fall down because he is now acquiring powers. When he become powerful, he may start doing something else rather than that can make him a devotee. So a jnani is having a risk. A yogi has a risk, but a bhakta has no risk. Why? Because he's always doing what? He's remembering the name of the. So that is the process. We don't want to get rid of all these sins or sinful reactions. Our business should be focused on actually what? Not just do this cleaning business of sins, but cleaning business of our heart, cleaning business of our consciousness. When we clean all this, then we can become perfectly positioned, situated according to this scripture, and then we can actually unite with the Supreme. Yeah, Purushottama Yoga, attain Purushottama Yoga. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we'll stop here. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Fine, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you very
Krishna,
much.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Happy chanting.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare